They told me I couldn't talk for a minute per slide, so I brought the laser pointer. My name is Jason Gilliland. I'm a landscape architect and co-owner of Site Design Studio. We are a small woman-owned business. We've been involved in the River Arts District for 5 years now, and I'm going to throw a lot of acronyms at you and try to overwhelm you. So we think about riverfront planning. We default to the 2004 Wilma Dykeman Plan, culmination of plans done in the 80s and 90s along the French Broad River and Swannanoa River corridors. We should really be talking about the riverfront plan completed in '89, initiated by RiverLink. That was the model that had the foundation for transportation, economic development, connectivity, and recreation along the rivers and in the River Arts District. So let's jump 20 years later to '09. RAD TIP, River Arts District Transportation Improvement Project. The city secured federal funds for a multimodal transportation corridor that set the groundwork for public and private investment. So last year, RDDP, Riverside Drive Development Plan, explored the development on city-owned parcels, 10 acres, mind you. We narrowed it down to an acre based on some restrictions. The RDDP makes recommendations for development for a RAD-specific form-based code for building structures. It also encourages creative partnerships for public and private investments for mixed-use housing and development. But it all starts at 14 Riverside, across from Curve Studios. I think a lot of you are familiar. Construction documents have been done for restrooms and an open space, and it may serve as a tourist information center, a bike share, maybe a trolley stop. Those have all been in the conversation. Other developments, laser pointer, RAD lofts, 200 affordable housing units, 95 Roberts, 60,000 square feet of renovated space, container restaurant, Smoky Park Supper Club, Brewery River Row, and of course we know about New Belgium. Associated with development comes parking. RDDP recommends parking in this location, 300 space parking structure, improved parking under Gene Webb, parking under I-240, and then also parking associated with the trailhead in New Belgium. So the city secured more federal funding. You may have heard 14-point-something million to do construction documents and construction for the roadway improvements. That also came along with that was a greenway plan. To do that greenway plan, we had to do a conceptual park plan to consider open space, picnic areas, playgrounds, overlooks, river access, to make sure that location of the greenway makes sense with all these other improvements that are eventually going to happen. We also need to consider infrastructure that would support the roadway. This is a picture of a constructed wetlands in Chattanooga that we've used as a model to help support those roadway facilities that would be located in the park that the greenway may go over or around. So we get to connections. With all this improvement, we have got to safely get across the river and the railroad. RDDP makes recommendations for crossings over the river in these two locations at Craven Street. An independent bridge or some sort of structure across from the park to New Belgium around the Haywood Bridge area. An aerial crossing over the railroad from the parking structure to Robert Street. And then also Craven Street Bridge improvement where we might separate the pedestrians from the truck traffic that ultimately is going to go that way. We're also dealing with river access points. Gene Webb existing, we're intending to relocate that downstream to some deeper water, make it useful. existing at Riverlink property. And then also that larger blue was a proposed boat launch with the U.S. Forest Service or Fish and Wildlife Service that has a second location on Amboy Road that would be the put-in. And this location would be the takeout for motorized boats, anglers, and float boats. We're also looking, are you guys overwhelmed yet? At some train spotting locations. A new transit stop at the New Belgium Haywood-Craven intersection. And then at 14 Riverside, again, trolley, bike share, bike rental to support the development in the future. We're also looking at public art. I think the last, what is it, PechaKucha? They started looking at public art opportunities at bridge abutments similar to Lexington Avenue, and also as infrastructure. So this is what's happening in the River Arts District. I can't get past this. I just think about the roadway and the greenway because that's what I'm working on. But this is actually what's being talked about, being built, being considered right now in the city of Asheville. So I'll leave you with this. Within the next 5 years, the opportunity to live and work or live where you play, Brewery River Row, will become a reality. The notion of unsafe commuting or lack of recreational opportunities will be a thing of the past. Expanded opportunities for tourism, shopping, recreation to highlight the arts, the lifestyle, and culture of the district and the riverfront as a destination will be realized. We're not in the 80s anymore, but it's still rad.